Just when you think you're done with the news today, yet more stuff starts breaking out and making us go, oh man, what's going on here, Hasbro? Yesterday was supposed to be Transformers Tuesday, where we're supposed to get hyped about all kinds of reveals and news, while on here on Wednesday, I guess we're having a War Breakdown Wednesday. I kind of gave a little bit of a spoiler about what we're going to talk about if you somehow didn't read the title or clicked on the thumbnail. So what do we got here? We got a leak that comes from the Cybertron Philippines Facebook group. And they've actually been a source for stuff in the past that has popped up. So this is definitely credible because I know that I've reported stuff many times in the past from these guys. And they have a very clearly plain brown box that is from our Generation Selects Hasbro Pulse kind of shipment system. But this one's a little different. On the front of the box, instead of it being that War for Cybertron boringness that we're so used to with Cybertronian, we have that of a Transformers Prime 10th anniversary. Reminder that Transformers Prime made its debut television-wise in November of 2010, and the toy line itself unofficially made its debut with the first edition line in Canada in that same month of 2010. I actually was one of the first guys to review Bumblebee back in the day, and that was one of my very first successful videos. It has like 250,000 views on it, I think, or something at this point. Anyways, enough blowing smoke off my ass. What we got here is what looks like, according to what's listed here, a War Breakdown and Vehicon. Now, this makes a lot of people go, oh man, what's going on here? Because the reality is that in the Transformers Prime line in the Western world, the character of Breakdown had a very shaky release kind of system. Now, in Japan, with the Arms Micron and Transformers Prime line, they got a Voyager scale War Breakdown, which was an actual breakdown toy. And then afterwards, they got their Silas Breakdown, which was like a slight retool of it from, spoiler, from when Silas was merged with him. But in the Western world, all we got was Legends / and we use the term here back then, Cyberverse, Legends scale breakdown figures. We got a small little breakdown, then we got one that came with a giant armor for like, God, I forget how much that was. I think it was like $19.99. That was like an Apex Hunter armor version, which was all green and stuff. We never got a legitimate good breakdown figure. There was a Constructabot. I'm looking at my collection here. Yeah, he really just didn't have anything that represented that character proper. But in Japan, he had those 2 Voyager figures, and then he even had a United one later, which I'm going to bring up when it comes to figuring out what's going on in this box, which I think we'll do right now. It's going to be, obviously, your traditional Generation Selects 2-pack. If the past is any indication of anything, it's going to be 2 deluxes. And I find also this funny because I just talked about it just a few segments ago about trademarks and how trademarks keep coming up and Hasbro has to match those trademarks and stuff. Well, no surprise, Breakdown, last time the trademark was used, 2016, for the G2 Menasor box set for Combiner Wars. And the Vehicons last time was used was a Creo Microchanger set, which was primarily sold through Dollar General and other places. Also 2016. What a surprise. 2016, 4 years. Bam, you're done. Go. We need some 2 new figures. Hey, Breakdown and a Vehicon. 2-pack. Let's go. Refreshed. Trademark. And let's make it happen. So it's going to be probably 2 deluxes. Anyone who's excited thinking, because it says War Breakdown, they're going to be giving us the Transformers Prime mold, man, you are going to be in for quite a surprise because I'll tell you something, those Transformer Prime molds were way too, I don't want to say complex, but way too out of the budget of modern Transformer toys today from Hasbro. I can't see them throwing that Voyager in a box and selling it to you guys. It's just not in their system of how they do things anymore. What I do see them doing is taking something that's pre-existing and turning it into those 2 characters 200%. I mentioned just before the United Warrior one, which used It used which mold was that? That was the Decepticon Off-Road, I believe, from Combiner Wars. But it went on to be used for other stuff too. I think it was used for Ironhide and a few other characters. But so, you know, they used a Combiner Wars mold and they turned that into Breakdown. And I thought it looked pretty good, in all honesty. I have that Grand Galvatron Combiner, and it's pretty awesome. But if they don't want to use that, which I could understand, they don't have to go that far back to dip into the ocean of molds. They could just like easily grab something from the Siege and Earthrise bubble. They could go like, okay, War Breakdown is, you know, a retool repaint of Earthrise Trailbreaker. Or, you know, maybe even if they want to go one wave before that, let's go with Siege Impactor and just like, you know, mess with those. Or alternatively, for the Vehicon, they could just go, okay, just take, I don't know, Siege and or Earthrise, Sideswipes, Sunstreakers, Prowls, Datsuns, Lambos, whatever. And there you go. Slap it together. There's your box set. That's what I think personally. But at the same time, you know, people have certain expectations. They still really want to get that old War Breakdown mold, which, by the way, in the secondary market is kind of ridiculous right now. It kind of, you know, when it first released, it was about $70 if you imported it. And then it jacked up for like $200 at some point, and then it kind of tapered off like everything does after a couple of years, and it went back down to that like $70, $80 price range that it was if you would have imported it. But slowly those numbers started to leave the market, and there's not many of them left really on the secondary market today that are easily accessible from a Western purchaser. So unfortunately now you're probably talking maybe 170 to 200 to 250 now for that one. So people are really hoping that they could, you know, somehow get that mold again, even through a reissue through this. And unfortunately, I just want to tell you guys, I don't see an Arms Micron, you know, War Breakdown ending up in one of these boxes. This is going to be, you know, and I find it funny too that, you know, this is clearly a trademark thing, because if you're doing a 10th anniversary thing for Transformers Prime, you're going to do a breakdown in a Vehicon? Really? Of all the characters? Clearly it's, hey, we got two trademarks that are going up. How do these two trademarks have any indication with each other? Throw them in a box set. You're good to go. So yeah, that's that. Let me know what you think about this. Again, we don't have any images. We're just spitballing here based on a box and some little bit of art here. It would be kind of cool if they got, if it also threw in like maybe one more figure, human character or something. That was something that Transformers Prime had a lot of. We had the 3 kids as figures, and then we got 2 more from a New York Comic Con box set, which was, we got Raph and Jacques, and I think they had like some kind of New York styled. I never opened that box. It's the one with the G1 colored RC with the New York styled kind of shirts. And then we got Silas and one of his little agents there as a figure. So maybe we'll get some more figures. Maybe we'll get an Agent Fowler figure, or maybe if they really want to go weird, give us Jack's mom June as a figure. Who knows? Who knows? Either way, let me know what you think about this. This is a very left field, very unexpected, unless, of course, you're just looking at, you know, trademarks that are going up. Then this is totally expected. But yeah, let me know what you think. Weird stuff. Hopefully this is the end of the news. Hopefully this is the end of the news today. Too much for one day, in my opinion.